Turning now to Joe Biden, who does not want to respectfully debate the other side. Joe Biden, ladies and gentlemen, actually thinks the other side, the MAGA side, is bad, really bad. And so he went to this big shindig in Washington, D.C. I've been many times before. It's called the White House Correspondents' Dinner. And, you know, the White House Correspondents Association puts it on and all the media goes and you see all your friends and you listen to some comedians and you usually listen to the president. I got to tell you, you know, Obama was pretty good at it. Biden, not so much. Trump didn't want to be there. Remember that? He's like, I'm going to go have my own party because the media is not really, say, the media that I would like to engage with and be hospitable with because they hate me. And they do. He was right on that. They absolutely do. Well, this is like Biden's home turf, right? He's set. These are his peeps. So why not use this comedic, fun night to have some kind of public cry about how much better they all are than the Trish Regans, I guess, or Tuckers or Bens or anybody else's of the world, right? You guys are the best and the brightest. We love you because you're on our side. So you got to rise up and you got to help protect the country, protect democracy. I don't know how you're protecting democracy when you're going after someone with 91 different counts. I don't know how you're protecting democracy when you've got Letitia James swooping in out of left field to say, nope, I don't think your property's really worth that. I think it's worth this, even though the bank decided, along with Donald Trump, to do a loan because they all thought it was worth that. And there were no damages. Everybody paid back what they were owed. I don't know how it's really protecting democracy when you say you are not allowed to say that coronavirus originated at a Wuhan lab. Like you're not even allowed to talk about it. You're not even allowed to entertain the idea. Even though pretty much every three-letter agency has since come out and said, yep, that's exactly what happened. All but the CIA, they remain divided. So there's just been a whole bunch of things. Yet Joe Biden goes there and talks about how you know, they all need to come together and protect democracy. Look at how this seemingly light, pleasant, cheerful, funny evening took a, I don't know, highly political, I'd say dark turn.
All of them.
He looks terrible, by the way.
On the third anniversary of January 6th, I went to Valley Forge. And I said the most urgent question of our time is whether democracy is still the sacred cause of America. That is the question the American people must answer this year. And you, the press, play a critical role in making sure the American people have the information they need to make an informed decision.
Okay, can you stop it right there, Drew? That was kind of the key moment, right? He said, you, the free press, play a critical role in protecting that democracy. Remember the one that I went to Valley Forge for J6, you know, they're still stuck on J6. Don't forget, guys, all the video you ever saw was all shot by Nancy Pelosi's daughter, primarily shot by Nancy Pelosi's daughter, Alexandra, the documentary filmmaker, that somehow managed to be there, even though NBC News and CNN and everybody else was not allowed in. She gave her tape or sold her tape to CNN, who then billed it as a CNN exclusive and then played it for you in a loop over and over and over again, just so it would sink in just how scary the day was and the moment was, despite the fact that now Supreme Court justices are kind of saying, you know, we don't think you have a whole lot of there in terms of locking the people up that were there for what they believed would be a peaceful protest. Anyway, let's let the president, who looks absolutely terrible, by the way, continue.
The defeated former president has made no secret of his attack on our democracy. He said he wants to be a dictator on day one, and so much more. He tells supporters he is their revenge.
Okay, I got to pause it again. Dictator on day one. That was about, okay, I'm going to dictate that we actually have to seal the border shut. He was joking around, but he said, yeah, I'm actually going to dictate that one. Okay, continue on, Mr. Biden.
He said he wants to be a dictator on day one, and so much more. He tells supporters he is their revenge and retribution. When in God's name have you ever heard of another president say something like that? And he promised a bloodbath when he loses again. We have to take this seriously. 8 years ago.
Okay, pause again. I mean, he's saying all these things in front of the media nonetheless. That's like, yeah. Bloodbath was actually referring to what was going to happen with China and tariffs regarding cars if they built a facility in Mexico. He was talking about an economic bloodbath. It's very different than what he's talking about. I mean, this is the problem, guys. This is the problem, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody in that room is willing to call him out. Nobody's actually willing to say, wait a second, what are you referring to? They're taking words out of context and they're using it against him. And they figure if they just keep repeating it and repeating it and repeating it and repeating it, you will believe it. But you know what? You just look at the polls. No one buys it, Joe. No one buys it because you keep telling us your Bidenomics is working. You keep telling us the economy's just great and everybody else knows the reality. Sorry, Drew. I can't watch the rest of him.